our base. We need a white piece for the inside, which we wouldn't necessarily have to have, but I did cut one out for this. Here is our embossed layer. We have a Spotlight on Nature die label and two of these pretty little leaves. Now these were cut out of the Nature Sweetness paper. So if you look close at these, you can see that they're kind of gold and white. So they're gold and white. Okay, it looks like I might be live again. I don't know if this is popping in and out or how that's working, but like I said, when I think you were all gone, I am going to post it to YouTube, and I think it's recording continuously even when I'm not live. So if you miss anything, I think you'll be able to go to YouTube and just watch the whole thing there. Okay, so now we need the Autumn Expressions bundle again, and we are going to switch out our sentiment to have a perfectly lovely day. I really like this sentiment. There's a lot of sentiments lately that I am really fond of. So I feel like they're doing a good job with their sentiments. Okay, now this time we are going to stamp, let's see where, I know I had a white piece, here it is. Our white piece and our card, and I'm just going to stamp in this pretty peacock. Just a little bit of this wheat. Okay, so I'm going to stamp, add my ink to my stamp, and I'm going to stamp off. And then just stamp a little bit down here in the corner. And I'm going to do the same thing with my envelope. Now, I didn't do this on my original card, but I really like to have a little something inside my card and a little something that matches on my envelope. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it makes a little difference, and sometimes making a little difference is what makes a big difference. I feel like a little attention to details sometimes it means a lot. Like when someone remembers your name, or just little things like that. Okay, now this one, a few little dots got stuck in there, so I'm just going to poke those out real quick before we continue on. Have any of you ever used that marker trick to add color to the edges of your labels that we used earlier? Okay, now we're going to tap our sentiment in our ink. I'm actually going to practice stamp one time. Oh, I need a little bit more, don't I? I like to really tap on my ink pad. I try really hard not to smoosh it because I don't like smudges. I am not fond of smudges. And then we're going to lay it down and just press firmly in the center. Okay, that's the way I found to get the best image for our stamping. Okay, and that was pretty peacock, in case I didn't say that before. Now we have our card base, and it's 5.5 by 8.5 again, scored at 4 1/4. This is a really common size card for me to make, a common layout. Okay, so we've got that. Our next layer is 4 by 5 1/4, and this is embossed with the leaf fall folder. I really wanted this last year. I didn't get it and was afraid that it was going to be gone, but it's not. It's still there, and it's a beautiful embossing folder. It's just really pretty. Okay, we're going to cut our ribbon just longer than our layer. We're going to put a little glue dot on each end. Okay, and then we're going to wind it around. We're actually just laid it on the top, and then we're going to fold the edges over so those glue dots catch around the back. Okay, now we're going to lay it down, add our glue to the back, a little thin line around the edge. Yep, make a little bit of a blob and a squiggle down the middle. Make sure you leave room for your fingers so you can grab that card without getting sticky. Okay, we're going to line it up so it's in the center. Okay, we can take our sentiment and flip it over. Add our dimensionals. And we're going to put our sentiment off to the right just a little bit so we can tie our knot there on the left. Okay, we can run that right under. Now, here's a little trick when you tie your knot. Sometimes ribbon has two sides, and you can tell the difference between them. So when you go to tie your knot, before you tighten it down, if the ends don't look like they match and you want them to, you can always just twist the end that looks like it's backwards before you tighten the knot down. Okay. Now we're going to just trim those ends. We can do the same thing with our little leaves that we did earlier. And we're just going to add a tiny bit of glue, liquid glue. So I'm just barely squeezing. You can see at first nothing's coming out. So if you're a little impatient, this might not be the best way for you to add your glue. It does work out good for me. And then we'll just tap it down, and we're going to do the same thing with the second one. We're just going to add that little tiny bit of glue. So you're just using really gentle pressure on your glue until you see some come out, and then you're just going to spread it around on the backs of those leaves. Okay. And we're going to tuck it right in there. And then we can add our gems. Oh, I forgot the inside piece, but there's still time for that. Don't worry, no worries. There's still time. All right, and this time, since I took that one behind the leaf, I'm not going to put a gem over there by it. I'm just going to put some down here, I think. Sometimes I have a really hard time putting my gems places. Okay, maybe here and here, and then this one up here by the perfectly. All right, so there is that, and then we can open it up. And since I forgot earlier, we can put our piece on the inside. And we're just going to do a thin line around the edge. Leave a space for our finger and then squiggle down the middle. Oop, we saw a little dimensional back flying around. I don't want it to get stuck where it's not supposed to be. All right, here we go. I'm going to grab it in that middle finger space. Line it up and press it down. All right, and there we have our, oh, it kind of smushed a little. I might have to put a glue dot behind that later. So there we have our 4 cards for tonight. They are this one, this one, this one, and this one. So you can comment and let me know which one is your favorite card for tonight, or you can place an order. If you place an order of $50 and you use the host code, I will send you the full card kit. But you have to make sure that you leave your address. Let's see. And I'm trying to get all my stuff in order. And here is the host code that you would need to use when you place your order. I'm so glad that you could join me for tonight's free class. I will be working this week on the directions. I don't know if I can get them all done this week, but within the next 2 weeks, I'll be sending out an email with directions and the ordering link and all the things that you need to make this beautiful class. Thank you for joining me tonight, and until I see you again, happy stamping. I'll be, we'll be having, the next online class will be on the first Sunday of the month. You could use a similar stamping set. Yeah, it's a really nice set. You could use, you could really substitute any set for that. The labels are pretty good size, so they'll probably fit with most sentiment sets. So it could really go with anything. Thank you for commenting again, Kim. I was afraid that everyone was gone. On my end, it looked like maybe everyone was gone, but I see that you're not. Yay! Okay, but happy stamping. I will see you the first and the third Sunday in October.